Going to do now if nobody's there?
Yeah, let's just wait, hang out for a couple of minutes just to make sure nobody's here. I think
Okay.
we'll do that, right?
Sure.
And then if nobody's here, then we'll just read the affidavits.
Okay. Is that what we're going to do now if nobody's there?
That's correct. Yeah, let's just wait, hang out for a couple of minutes just to make sure nobody's here. I think we'll do that, right?
We have to wait till 1:45? No?
Like it's behind a little bit.
Can you turn it off?
You have to connect first, and then I just now exit out.
Oh, it just connected.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Nobody's here, so.
No?
We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait another 12 minutes just to make sure nobody comes in that 10-minute interval, right? Or is it 10 or 15 minutes?
Well,
15 minutes.
Is Cindy here this afternoon or not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, she is.
I'm here.
yeah.
Oh, hi. Didn't know you were there.
we can say, okay, we've had somebody come in, we will table this until.
Yeah, we can just start.
Start. Let's do it. Let's get it out of there.
Okay. Is this the same as this?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna take one of them with me, so I'll leave the other one with you.
Okay.
This is your affidavit.
Okay. What about where's the affidavit? Where's their affidavit?
In the 3:00 folder. Right
So this
here.
will be on the 3:00 docket, right?
Yes.
Yay.
First case is 1782. Does somebody want to start that whole proceeding?
Okay, hang on 1 second here.
Do we have to read the whole legal description or just the case numbers?
Just the just the case numbers.
Oh, goody.
The way we've been doing it is reading the account numbers and the case numbers.
Account-
Kathy,
Oh, the
look,
account numbers and the case. I got it.
look up in the top right on that form.
Yeah, I see it.
Just read that. You don't read the geographic number. Just read the account number and then the case numbers.
Okay. You want me to start?
Sure.
Robert needs to do all that.
Oh, okay, Robert.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm ready. So, okay, opening up a hearing on case ID 2020-1782, account number 19009, and I'm going to read an affidavit for multiple cases. Let me get my script here. Hang on 1 second.
Hey, Robert,
Yes.
actually, you're doing it for all of these. Find
Okay.
the sign-in sheet. You know,
Okay.
and you'll see them up on the right-hand corner. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. Thank you. Okay, so I guess opening an affidavit hearing for multiple cases, which we'll hear here in a minute. This hearing is being recorded. We are the appraisal review board that will be hearing the protest today. On the panel this afternoon are myself, Robert Dayton, Cindy Duck, Kathy Hoffman, and Ramona LeBlanc. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of the protest. Protester has a right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to the protester with our determination. In accordance with tax code section 41.45H, all written material is assumed to have been provided with the affidavit. The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. And I will start. I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F. And this pertains to account number 19009, 19611, 34187, 50681, 63761, 65904, and 70930, with corresponding case numbers 1782, 1783, 1785, 1786, 1788, 1789, and 1790. I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in the state of Texas.
Yay. All right, I, Cindy Duck, do solemnly swear I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F. I am signing to that effect, and I am also physically located in the state of Texas. I am doing this for account numbers 19009, 19611, 34187, 50681, 63761, 65904, 70930, which corresponds to case number 2020-1782, 1783, 1785, 1786, 1788, 1789, and 1790. Done.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F pertaining to account number 19009, 19611, 34187, 50681, 63761, 65904, 70930. Corresponding count numbers 2020-1782, 1783, 1785, 1786, 1787, 1789, and 1790. I am signing to that effect, and I am located in Texas.
I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F pertaining to account number 19009, 19611, 34187, 50681, 63761, 65904, 70930, case number 2020-1782, 1783, 1785, 1786, 1788, 1789, and 1790. I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
My name's Val Smith. I'm a notary public. I am witnessing through Zoom the signatures of Ms. Hoffman, Ms. LeBlanc, Ms. Duck, and Mr. Dayton, and I am physically located in Texas.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath.
My name is Michael Soto. Do solemnly swear affirm the testimony you shall present to the President Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Okay. District Representative will now read the affidavit into the record.
You don't have to read all things.
I do. I have that listed right here.
Right, but as far as you don't have to read it like they do, I thought you did as well, that you're doing it for all these accounts.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do solemnly swear affirm the testimony I shall present to the President Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct for the following accounts: 19009, 19611, 34187, 50681, 63761, 65904, and 70930, with the corresponding case number 1781, 82. I'm sorry, 1782, 83, 85, 86, 88, 89, and 90. Okay. At this point, I will read the property owner's affidavit of evidence. It is as such. Pyra Management LP, Riverside, Santa Cruz, California, 1006, Farm Road, 3036, 1782, 78382. Correct appraised market value, values unequal compared with other properties. Temporary disaster damage exemption was denied. See Exhibit A. So on the next page, oh, I'm sorry, yeah, the next page says, I do not intend to appear at the hearing either in person or by telephone conference call. This affidavit and its evidence and or argument submitted with it may be used for the hearing if I do not appear in person at the hearing. Signed by Abram T. On the 25th day of August 2020, before Andrew Choi.
Hey, you have the black thing over the camera.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
And one other thing, Mike, the affidavit has Q1, Q2 checked as well as the temporary disaster denial.
That's correct.
But the paperwork, at least the description on Val's case listing, just shows Q5 and Q13.
Right. Because it's the art, and I don't know, but I believe that the argument is tied towards the temporary disaster. I can try to answer that question in the investigation part of it, with the ARB's, at the ARB direction. But I believe all of these properties have already been heard for Q1 and Q2 on those
This
merits.
year?
Yes, that's correct.
Ugh.
So it's kind of like that one that we looked at yesterday where it had already been heard, but then they're just bringing a COVID issue. And I guess, if I were trying to answer the question for the property owner's agent, which I'm not, because I'm just going to read their evidence, I'm just going to read their affidavit. But if I were to try to suppose what that would be, is there would be a corresponding declination of value associated with a granted temporary disaster exemption, according to the damage rating. So that's all that I would say if I were trying to answer that question.
Okay, I got you.
Can I ask you a question, Mike? So if we've heard these cases before, are these cases like yesterday where you declined the temporary disaster damage and now we're going to hear that? Is that the same thing we're doing as like yesterday?
Yes, I believe so. I can't say with certainty. Yesterday I did check to make sure that those yesterday that I had denied a temporary disaster exemption associated with 1135. I made sure with the ones we talked about yesterday. I have not done those for these, but I'm affirming to you that I would deny if I had that in my hand. I would deny.
Okay.
So
Hey, and one other thing, and I'm so sorry. Okay, so the date, and I get it, but I just want to clarify. We've already heard these, and then O'Connor submitted this, and he submitted this on 8/8/20 after the deadline, right? Just like yesterday's was submitted after. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, let's see. The date of the affidavit of evidence is dated the 25th day of August.
Right. Oh, okay. So the 25th of August is when he submitted the request for protest.
And I don't believe we've heard all of these cases before.
We haven't heard these ones before.
Yeah, we
We
have.
have?
Yeah, because
We've
some of these I recognize for sure, because I
Some of them I don't, but okay.
yeah, no, we did these.
Before, as far as investigative portions, I can do that right now and just determine which ones you've heard before, so you can answer that question in your head. Would you like for me to do that?
You
Well,
can
no,
do it.
that-
You can do it as you go along, Mike. That's fine.
Okay.
I'm just clarifying that,
Works for you.
and that they didn't request a hearing until the 25th of August.
It was yesterday.
No,
That was yesterday.
they didn't sign this affidavit until the 25th of August. They would have requested the hearing prior to that, obviously, for them to even have a hearing date.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to just do them one at a time? You can tell us if we've seen it or heard it before as we go along.
Can y'all see the screen here?
I don't even remember how we did it yesterday.
Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Go into images. I'm sorry, go into the, this is the first one that they had. And if you look at the hearing docket, it's 7/14. So this was heard at 7/14.
Oh, okay.
And I can look to see the original. Remember, yesterday we looked at one that they only checked 1 and 2, and then later they checked the temporary disaster COVID thing.
Right.
Go to images. Go to ARB.
See, and Kathy, what I was asking about is they already protested these, but now they've resubmitted another thing for a hearing after the date. And so we're granting even a second hearing, or well, I don't know that we granted it, but we're doing a second hearing that was submitted after the date that we just allow it.
All right. I get it.
Okay, so this is the first hearing. This is the first protest where they're asking for information. This is the first page for their next. These are the listing of the accounts. Go to next. Okay, for reasons of the protest, it says value, market value, and then it says values unequal compared with other properties. In addition, the protest also includes that the property is excessively, appraised excessively, the property is appraised unequally, and there may be a denial of an appropriate exemption, an improper classification, inaccurate description of the property with regard to size, location, year, quality, built, grade, and other factors without limitation. Finally, this protest includes all actions by the chief appraiser and the appraisal review board that applies to and adversely affects the property owner, including the actions or inactions by the appraisal review board, the chief appraiser and or appraisal district representative appearing at the hearing during the protest that violate the provisions of the Texas Property Tax Code. It also includes actions of the chief appraiser, appraisal district and appraisal review board prior to or after the hearing. We reserve the right to elect, or we reserve the right to elect to have an ARB hearing on protest by telephone conference call in accordance with 4145 Texas Property. So they kind of covered everything here.
That's an old person.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
their
okay.
question.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. You asked that question. This is their old protest. That's the old protest.
Oh, okay.
And so they're coming to you specifically. Again, I can't answer, the property owner's agent is not here to answer the question, but from the documents that we have in our hand, it is clear that they are protesting inaccurate appraised market value, values unequal compared with other properties, temporary disaster damage exemption was denied. And that's all they have checked.
There's two.
But if we already heard the cases, we would have heard the Q1 and Q2.
I wanted to make sure they heard it before.
Okay, I just want to be sure.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, so ask your question again, Kathy, I'm sorry.
I said, if we've heard these cases before, we would have heard them on more than likely Q1 and Q2, but now they're asking for that again?
Well, again, that would be a question for the property owner's agent to answer in sufficiency. But because there's a temporary disaster damage exemption was denied checkbox, if that were applied, it would have a requisite value change that's commensurate with the damage physical level, and therefore the market value would be changed. I'm sorry, what did
They
you say?
want to know, have we heard these cases before? Not about all that stuff. Did we
Yeah.
listen to these cases before?
Yes, yes. On the very
And
first,
then they're coming back at us again, right?
yes, they're
Yes, and what date did they submit this second request? Because they haven't come in front of us asking us even to see them again for this second, I'm not sure what.
okay. So on this,
When did they submit this
yes,
request?
if you look under protest on your tablet, you see that was
I
submitted
am.
July 20th,
Yeah,
and it says notice of protest,
mhm.
7 accounts. The reason for the protest, denial of the appropriate exemption. So they're saying that the reason for their protest, this document that you actually see that says July 20th at the top, it says July 14th is when it was submitted, July 20th is when we received it. They
Yes.
are saying that the reason for what this piece of paper says is the reason for the protest is denial of the appropriate exemption. So that's really what they're talking about here.
So we've heard this once on Q1 and Q2. Now they've resubmitted, and now they want to do the disaster. Am I correct?
I believe you are correct.
Okay, I have a question too. So is the amount?
And how does that happen?
And how did it not go before the review board and ask whether or not we granted a hearing as it was submitted after the normal date. I'm confused about all of this.
Okay, so before you received it, I don't even know if it's before you heard it, but I denied this exemption. I denied the COVID temporary disaster exemption. And so at that hearing, that was not addressed to the best of my knowledge,
No, it wasn't.
or that's what they're bringing to your attention today.
Well, what they didn't have, so,
It's real simple. We've looked at Q1, Q2. Now they're bringing back.
That's not the point.
That
It
is the
should have been all
point,
taken
Robert.
care of in one fell swoop on the very first thing.
Right. And
It
this
should
is
have
a
been done all
request
at
for
one
a
time.
second hearing that we never said yay or nay to. It never came in front of us.
I get that, but I'm thinking, Mike hasn't said this yet, but I'm thinking that Mike, in an abundance of caution, he does not want to be accused of denying an exemption. So he's bringing that in front of us, just like he did the cases yesterday, for us to hear. Am I correct, Mike?
Yes.
I get that, but I
Agreed
want
on that.
to, can I ask a question? I'm looking at the numbers on the prior and current values. And in most every case, the amount from last year to this year has gone up. But in many of the decisions that we made, we lowered the prices. So is the current value that's stated on these cases what we agreed to or what it was before?
I think it's the new ones.
It's the one that the ARB determination made on 7/14.
Right.
So the
Okay.
values that you have,
This is all very weird.
It's bizarre.
It is.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry that it's bizarre. I have to bring any petition to you. And for whatever reason, this was not addressed on 7/14 of 2020. And so they protested again and said the reason for the protest is the denial of appropriate exemption. And they remarked it on their property owner's affidavit of evidence. Temporary disaster damage exemption was denied. And we still even haven't gotten to their evidence, and we still haven't even gotten to mine. But I do think that it's appropriate to answer their petition, to answer their appeal. Because I am affirming to you that I have denied an exemption, and I am affirming to you that if I got another one, I would still deny it. Because COVID, I haven't even gotten to my evidence yet, but I'm affirming to you that I would deny it.
But like yesterday, basically what we're doing is in more likelihood, going to agree with you so that you've denied it and you brought it to us and we denied it. Is that basically the case?
Well, let's not go there until you've heard the evidence.
Yeah.
I guess I would reserve my.
Well, it's pretty much like yesterday.
Yes.
It's
but we
very
need to
similar to yesterday, but in an abundance of caution, I would say that the ARB should hear the evidence of the property owner through their affidavit, and then they should hear my evidence and they should rule.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, we get it, I think.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and proceed. So they marked that, they indicated, I think I left up where he sworn and subscribed, Abram T.
Yeah.
And then now we're going to the next page, which is the August 8th, 2020. That's what they presented is August 8th, 2020, pursuant to the powers of the Governor of the State of Texas, Greg Abbott has issued proclamation with a declaration stating the novel coronavirus COVID-19 poses an imminent threat and disaster for all counties in Texas. Original proclamation is attached. Letter of transmittals respectively submitted. Gregory Davidson. And then on the next page, you have Exhibit A at the top. It says Texas Property Tax Code, Section 2302. And then right underneath that, you have Texas Tax Code, Section 1135, Gamma or G. Application of the temporary tax exemption for qualified property damage by disaster qualifications. And it says qualifications number 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to read this once. Disaster declaration. The governor of Texas declared an all county state of Texas disaster area on March 13, 2020, which has been extended to August 8, 2020. At least 15% damage by disaster. The statute did not mention the damage to be physical. Hotels are among the properties damaged the most by COVID-19 due to fear of COVID-19 presence. Hotels have incurred significant loss in revenue as well as incurred significant cleaning, safety, precautionary costs due to disaster. Since the pandemic is still ongoing, the disaster declaration is still in place. Full impact of the damages will not be determined until it's over, at least through the end of 2020 for partial exemption proration purposes. All damages are measured in monetary units, whether physical or economic damages. Through June 2020, subject properties already incurred loss of revenue of 70%, seen revenue drop from March through June 2020. Without a question, total disaster damages will exceed far more than 15% of the market value of 2020. COVID-19 is a physical phenomenon. COVID-19 is and may be on the surfaces of the interior of the hotel lobby, hallway rooms, etc. If the hotel guest has COVID-19 and coughs during the time of the hotel stay, the fact that 2019 is invisible by human eye does not mean that it does not exist or not physically present. A hotel can be damaged by smoke or penetrated by the neighboring building. Fire, even though it's seemingly invisible, could cause severe damages to the hotel. Termites hidden inside the wall could also cause severe damage not easily seen. Underground contamination would also cause severe damages without being seen by human eyes. In conclusion, COVID-19 is a disaster far worse than any storm, fire, or natural disaster. The severe loss of the subject's 2020 market value is undeniable. Although the 2020 valuation is based on January 1, 2020, the Texas tax code provides a means to reappraise the property after the disaster affected a property true market value. We're requesting the ARB to request the county to authorize reappraisal of the subject property for the period after March 18, 2020, or alternatively, we request the ARB to grant the 15% temporary readjustment to the subject property's 2020 property value, property's 2020 value, consideration of the COVID-19 impact. The next page is the proclamation by the state of Texas. It's dated on March 13th. And the following page is just a signature page of that. I didn't read this yesterday and it's not part of your package, but I will affirm that on July 6th of 2020, I rejected their application for a temporary disaster. So that's a timeline. You know, they sent in an application sometime prior to that. I reviewed it with my attorney and denied their exemption. In relation,
What hotel is that?
That's what, I mean, Motel 6.
yeah, this is Motel 6. This particular
Okay.
one is Motel 6.
Okay.
My first page of evidence, you know, and then I've got, I guess I've got the card. The value that you have right now, the $2 million that's displayed, is after you've heard that case for the first time. This is you see the appraisal value method and it says ARB at the top. Does everybody see that?
No, tell me where it is. I'm sorry.
Right in the middle of the card, the property card at the very towards the top.
Ah, yes.
It says ARB.
Oh, I see.
And then
Okay.
you see the value at 2 million to the right. That's something that y'all did on 7/14 of 2020. Okay,
Okay.
just for reference. The next pages are the sections of the tax code. The next 2 pages, 3 pages, are sections of the tax code that applies to the damage rating and what applies to this temporary exemption. On the next pages, this is an April 13th, 2020 letter, an opinion letter, which is KP 0299 from Ken Paxton, the Attorney General of the state of Texas, addressing a question that was posed by Senator Bettencourt about physical damages and the associated temporary disaster. And this question was answered by the Attorney General of the state of Texas. Specifically on the last page, or page 3, Second paragraph, one common use of the term damage is physical harm caused by something in such a way to impair its value. Nothing in the language of 11.35 evidences an intent on the part of the legislature to address non-physical damage to a property by allowing an exemption in such circumstances. Next paragraph at the end, construing that section 11.35 as a whole, a court would likely conclude that the legislature intended to limit the temporary tax exemption in section 11.35 to apply only to property physically harmed as a result of a declared disaster. In summary, page 4, thus, purely economic, non-physical damage to property caused by the COVID-19 disaster is not eligible for the temporary tax exemption provided by section 11.35 of the tax code. Very truly yours, Ken Paxton. So, in the appraisal district summary, we're going to go with what the opinion of the Attorney General of the state of Texas is, that this does not apply and therefore was denied and should continue to be denied for the temporary disaster exemption. I will answer any questions that the board has at this point.
I have no
don't have any.
questions.
I don't have any questions.
And so my recommendation is to deny the exemption and leave the value where it is. That's my final statement.
All right, and this is which account?
I think that's fine, Cindy.
1782.
009.
Wait, what? 19009?
Yes.
Okay, on account 19009, I make a motion based upon what we've heard from the district and from the property owners, agents, affidavit, that we leave the taking into consideration any item in addition to the temporary disaster, the possibility of temporary disaster damage exemption letter from Paxton, or just temporary disaster damage exemption item on the listing. Considering all of that, I make a motion that we leave the 2020 value at the ARB set value of $2 million.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Okay.
What's next? 1783.
Yeah, 1783 is account number 19611. The property's owner affidavit of evidence reads as such: Intuition Investment, 1442 South Padre Island Drive, Corpus Christi, Texas 78416. Property description is 2921 Highway 35 North. Section 3, incorrect appraised market value, values and include compared with other properties. Temporary disaster exemption was denied. On the next page, they say that they do not intend to appear by person and at the hearing, either in person or by telephone conference call. This affidavit and evidence and or argument submitted with it may be used for the hearing if I do not appear in person by Abraham Tay before Andrew Choi on the 25th of August, 2020. The documentation submitted with this one is the same as last. They have the Governor Gregg August 18th, 2020 declaration. Exhibit A is the section of the tax code 1135G. As was previously read, you have qualifications 1, 2, and 3 in conclusion. They also have the proclamation for the original disaster date and the signature page. Is there any questions about the property owner's affidavit of evidence?
Oh,
Okay, for the district's evidence, this property is the La Quinta, and on my second page, I think I have the property card here, and you can see that the property card has a appraisal value method in the middle. It says ARB. that this ARB has rendered a value of 4.2 million based on market value and unequal questions answered. I believe it's on the same date, which would have been June 14th of 2020. After that, we have the actual section of the tax code 11.35, the next 3 pages. Then you have the Ken Paxton Attorney General opinion, KP 0299, bringing to light the sections associated with the last several paragraphs. Nothing in the language of the section 1135 evidence and intent on the part of the legislature to address non-physical damage to the property by allowing an exemption in such circumstances. In summary, very last thing, thus purely economic non-physical damage to the property caused by the COVID-19 disaster is not eligible for the temporary tax exemption provided by 1135 of the tax code. So in my final statement, what I would say is that I have denied this exemption, and we are going to agree with the Attorney General of the state of Texas that it is non-physical damage and therefore not eligible for the section of the tax code that's been applied for. That's all I got.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
Cindy, I
so
think you can go for it, Cindy.
okay, on account number 19611, based upon what we heard from the appraisal district and also from the property owner's agent's affidavit, taking into consideration any item which might affect the evaluation of the property, including the possibility of an exemption on temporary disaster damage. I make a motion on this account that we leave the 2020 value at $4,200,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next.
The next account number is 34187, which has a case number of 1785. It reads as such: property owner's affidavit of evidence is Pyra Management LP, 314 Riverside, Santa Cruz, California, 95060. The description is 1075 North Fulton Beach Road, apartment 101, Fulton, Texas, 78358. Incorrect appraised market value, values unequal compared with other properties, temporary disaster exemption was denied, see Exhibit A. I do not intend to appear at the hearing either in person or telephone call. This affidavit and or evidence argument submitted with it may be used, but I do not appear in person. It's signed by Andrew Tay on the 25th day of August before Andrew Troy, the notary. The same evidence is presented. You have the August 8, 2020 document from Governor Abbott, the same section of the tax code 1135. G as in gamma, and the qualifications 1, 2, 3 that were read previously, along with the conclusion associated at the bottom. The very last thing that they have is the proclamation of the governor of the state of Texas, along with the signature page on the next page. Therein lies the subject property owner's affidavit of evidence. Are there any questions?
No.
Okay, moving on. I want to point out that this is, in fact, account 34187. And on 34187, I'd like to go to the property card. I don't know if I have a property card on this particular one. This was a, I think the Sportsman's Manor, and there's an ARB value associated with this particular thing. Yeah, it's okay. It won't because that's one of the messed up ones. It won't do it. You're gonna mess up. Yeah, don't do that. Okay, and so this particular property had a notice value of 3.596101, and now has a value, an ARB value that was determined by the Appraisal Review Board on 7/14 of $2.3 million. It's an ARB value. This property card won't print because it's Sportsman's Manor condos with undivided interest, and it won't print for us. So I'm affirming that on the last page of this, that's the reason we included the order of determination protest. You just go to the end here.
Hey, so how much was it before?
Hang on. Hey, I'm going to show you. Keep going.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Pull it up just a little bit. Next one. The next one. Right there. Pull it up. Okay. Minus. Now just pull it. Okay, right there at the bottom. This board rendered on July 14, 2020. It was noticed at 3.596 million, and this board had a value which is still on the property of $2.3 million. Okay, so instead of a card, I'm showing you that. In relation to the COVID disaster, I'm going to just read the sections that apply. Nothing in this language of section 1135 evidences an intent on part of the legislature to address non-physical damage to the property by allowing an exemption of such circumstances. In summary, thus, purely economic non-physical damage to the property caused by COVID-19 disaster is not eligible for the temporary tax exemption provided by 1135 of the tax code. We are going to agree with the Attorney General of the state of Texas that we would deny this exemption. And therefore, my final statement is that this ARB has ruled on market value. We currently have a value of 2.3 million that was arrived at. We are going to affirm that we would deny a temporary tax exemption on COVID-19 because it is non-physical. That's all I got.
Okay, on account 34187, I make a motion that takes into consideration any item which might affect the total valuation on the property, including the possibility that an exemption be or not be allowed for temporary disaster damage. And this is based upon what we heard from the appraisal district and also from the property owner's agent's affidavit. So on this account 34187, I make a motion that we leave the 2020 value at the ARB new valuation of $2,300,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
The next property is account number 50681. The case number is 1786. Reads as such: Griffin Inc., P.O. Box 1159, Rockport, Texas 78358. The property description is 215 North Fulton Beach Road, 78358. Section: reasons for being protested. Incorrect appraised market value, values and then compared with other properties. Temporary disaster exemption was denied. See Exhibit A. I do not intend to appear at the hearing either in person or by telephone conference call. This affidavit and evidence and or argument may be submitted with it, may be used during the hearing if I do not intend to appear at the hearing. Abraham T. signed on the 25th day of August before Andrew Troy, Notary Public. Exhibit A is the next page, 1135. G is in Gamma, the application for the temporary disaster tax exemption for the qualified property damaged by disaster. Qualifications 1, 2, and 3 are the same as aforementioned, and the conclusion is the same as well. On the next page, you have the Governor Greg Abbott, August 8, 2020 declaration. The next page, you actually have the proclamation from the governor, and the last page is the signature page. And that's all that the subject property owner's agent has submitted with their affidavit. Do you have any questions? Moving forward, we have the page of the card, and I want you to notice on our card of our evidence. Yeah. So notice that at the appraisal value method is ARB right at the top there. This is the Fulton Inn. This ARB rendered a value on 7/14 of $3 million. Okay. The next
Hey, Mike, I can't read what was it before we changed it?
I don't know if I have that in here,
Oh, okay, never mind.
but I can find that out for you. Hang
No,
on. I
I'm
do,
just kind of curious how much we adjusted it now.
it was 3.883 million and you went to 3 million.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
No worries. So then this is the Texas tax code 1135 for the next 3 pages. Then you have the Ken Paxton report, which is the opinion number KP 20299. Going to pages 3 and 4. Page 3, nothing in this language of 1135 evidence is an intent on the part of the legislature to address non-physical damage to property, allowing an exemption in such circumstances. In summary, on the last page, page 4, thus purely economic non-physical damage to the property caused by the COVID-19 disaster is not eligible for the temporary disaster tax exemption provided by 1135 of the tax code. Very truly yours, Ken Paxton. We would agree with the Attorney General of the state of Texas. We would deny the temporary tax exemption associated with this disaster under 1135. Furthermore, this board has already ruled on value and equity questions in a previous protest, and that evidence was shown as well.
Okay, so I make a motion on account 50681, taking into consideration the evidence given by the district and by the property owner's agent's affidavit, and taking into consideration any item which might affect the total valuation on the property, including the possibility that an exemption was denied or approved for temporary disaster damage. So with these things, on account 50681, I make a motion that we retain or keep our value, the ARB board's set value for 2020 of 3 million.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next account is account 63761. It has an associated case number of 1788. It reads as such: Zionic Investment Group, in care of Gopal Chateen, 1442 South Padre Drive, Island Drive, Corpus Christi, Texas 78416. The property description is 3677 Highway 35 North. Incorrect appraised market value. Values and compare with other properties. Temporary exemption, disaster exemption was denied. See Exhibit A. Then it says, I do not intend to appear at the hearing either by telephone conference call. This affidavit and or evidence submitted with it may be used for the hearing if I do not appear in person. Signed on the 25th day of August before Andrew Choi was April 18th. Next page is Exhibit A with the same qualifications, 1, 2, and 3, and the same conclusion under section 1135. G is in gamma. Page after that is Greg Abbott's August 8th, 2020 declaration. The next page after that is the proclamation of the state of the governor of the state of Texas. And the last page is the signature page there.
Right.
Therein lies the subject property owner's affidavit of evidence. The last thing that we have here is my evidence, which is I'd like to go to the property card.
Get away from the appraisal review board.
So the property card, the appraisal value method is ARB. The value that we have on the property is currently $2 million. To try to kind of pre-answer the question of what it was, this looks like it was a settlement waiver. It was initially at 2.875 and they agreed at 2 million. So that's what it is. But it looks like, was it an order determining or was it?
I think so.
I think it was a
ARB.
settlement waiver. Yeah, this looks like a settlement waiver.
Ah,
Okay, moving on. The section of the code is 1135. Next 3 pages, then you have the Ken Paxton, April 13th. Opinion number KP 0299. Moving on to page 3. Second paragraph, nothing in the language of section 1135 evidence the intent on part of the legislature to address non-physical damage to property by allowing an exemption in such circumstances. In summary, thus, purely economic non-physical damage to the property caused by the COVID-19 disaster is not eligible for the temporary tax exemption provided by 1113 tax code. We agree with the Attorney General of the state of Texas. We would deny the exemption. This property was previously settled upon between the owner's agent and our representative at $2 million. That's all we got.
Okie dokie. Well, based upon, I make a motion on account 63761, based upon what we have heard from the appraisal district and the property owner's agent's affidavit, taking into consideration any issue or any item which might affect the total valuation on the property, including the possibility of an exemption or denial of a temporary disaster damage exemption. I make a motion that we retain the $2 million 2020 value that was via settlement.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
A second.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay, aye.
Aye. Okay.
The next account number is 65904. Name is, the associated case number is 1789. Hira Management LP 314 Riverside, Santa Cruz, California 95060. 309 South Fulton Beach Road 78382. Incorrect appraised market values unequal compared with other properties. Temporary disaster exemption was denied. See Exhibit A. I do not intend to appear at the hearing either in person or by telephone conference call. This affidavit and the evidence and/or argument submitted with it may be used for the hearing if I do not appear in person at the hearing. Signed by Abraham T. before Andrew Choi. Exhibit A is 1135 Gamma, along with the 1, 2, 3 qualifications and the associated conclusion aforementioned and previously read. The next page is the Governor Greg Abbott August 8, 2020 declaration. And then the next page is the proclamation from the Governor of the state of Texas on March 13th. The last page is the signature page. The next is going to be our evidence. In our evidence, this is the Bayfront Cottages on Fulton Beach Road. And you can see from the card, the appraisal value method is ARB. The value that was arrived upon is $998,000. Moving on, the next several pages are the cards, and then you have the temporary tax exemption section, which is 1135. Moving on to the Ken Paxton KP opinion, KP 0299. Moving on to page 3, nothing in the language of 1135 evidence with intent on the part of the legislature to address non-physical damage to the property by allowing an exemption in such circumstances. In summary, thus, purely economic non-physical damage to the property caused by the COVID-19 disaster is not eligible for the temporary tax exemption provided by 1135 Texas Tax Code, or the tax code. Signed by Ken Paxton. I will affirm that we would be in concert in opinion with the Attorney General of the state of Texas. We would deny that exemption. Furthermore, this particular property, although it says ARB, this was a settlement waiver, and you can see that at the end of my evidence package. It was noticed at 1.59, and it was agreed upon at $998,000 by Abram T. That's all I got.
Okay, so on account number 65904, based upon what we have heard from the appraisal district and from the property owner's agent's affidavit, taking into consideration any item which might affect the total valuation on the property, including the possibility of the exemption or including the possibility of a denial or acceptance of a temporary disaster damage exemption, I make a motion on account 65904 that we retain the 2020 valuation set by the Appraisal Review Board of $998,000.
Second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
One more.
Right. The last account number is 70930, Momentum Hospitality, the associated case number is 1790-1790. Momentum Hospitality Inc., 1442 South Padre Drive, Corpus Christi, Texas, 78416. The property description is 2950 Highway 35 North. Incorrect appraised market values and compared with other properties. Temporary disaster exemption was denied. See Exhibit A. I do not intend to appear at the hearing either by person or telephone conference call. This affidavit with the evidence and or argument submitted with it may be used for the hearing if I do not appear in the hearing, in person at the hearing. Signed by Abraham T. before Andrew Choi. You can see that the Exhibit A is the same section, 1135 Gamma, and the qualifications are the same, 1, 2, and 3, along with the same conclusion. The next page is the August 8, 2020 Governor Abbott Declaration. The next page is the proclamation submitted on March 13, 2020, along with the signature page. As far as our evidence that's produced, this happens to be the Fairfield Inn. You'll notice that the appraisal value method is ARB. The value that was arrived was $4,233,000. Okay. The next pages are 1135 of the Texas Property Tax Code. And then we're moving on to the Ken Paxton opinion, which is KP 0299. Moving on to page 3, the paragraph, it says nothing in the language of section 1135 evidence is the intent on part of the legislature to address non-physical damage on the property by allowing an exemption of such circumstances. In summary, thus, purely economic non-physical damage to the property caused by the COVID-19 disaster is not eligible for the temporary tax exemption provided by 1135 tax code. Very true, yours, Ken Paxton. We would agree, we would continue to deny the tax exemption associated with this disaster based on the non-physical characteristics of the subject property. That's all we got.
All right, so I make a motion on account 70930, based upon what we've heard from the appraisal district and from the property owner's agent's affidavit, taking into consideration any item which might possibly affect the total valuation on anyone's property, including the denial or the acceptance of a temporary disaster damage exemption. With the facts that we've seen, I make a motion on account 70930 that we retain the 2020 value set by the Appraisal Review Board at $4,233,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
I don't believe we have anybody at the 1:30 that came in, and we don't have anybody at 3. That was the summation of it, but we do have some letters, I believe, or some issues.
One letter. And it should be there on your Kindle.
Okay. So, do you want this in here?
Don't sound so happy about that.
Oh, there's only one? Yeah, for sure.
No, that's a good thing. That's it. But she's like, no, there is one letter. It's like, oh no.
It'll be all right, whatever it is.
No, it is. It is. Okay, so later letters to be read. All right, so can I proceed with that?
Sure, go ahead, Cindy.
All right, so here we go. Dear Arbitration Board, I'm writing to hoping reschedule my hearing date and time. I am late with my information but it has been a rough 2.5 months for my wife and I dealing with coronavirus and with, oh God, and with 6 family members passing away.
Oh
And
my
10,
goodness.
I know, and 10 of my close friends from Rockport and Gregory Portland area. My appeal will be short, as I will just get to the point as to why I believe my appraised value is too high, but I do understand if it goes up a small percentage. Please consider my case for a rescheduled date and time this week. So where, let's see, keep going. Did he get the full, he did have a hearing, scheduled hearing?
Right,
Yesterday.
I put it under the ACAD information. It was scheduled yesterday. He called in and he did not have his affidavit.
He did call in?
Yes, he called in for his hearing, but he had not submitted an affidavit to us, so he could not have his hearing.
Well, I feel like this is different from the other things that we've done, not because of the medical reason, but because he did have a hearing, he had it scheduled, he did call in at the appropriate time. It's just, and we've done that.
Correct.
We've waited and allowed other people to go run somewhere, do something to, get the affidavit in. So and this is just my personal opinion on this whole deal, on this one, not because of the medical reasons, but because his situation is such a bad one, and it was just, the affidavit issue. So I would say reschedule.
Do we actually have any available time slots?
Tomorrow is pretty full, but I could get him, I think, on the 1:30 docket.
He has his affidavit. We could reach out to him now for that matter.
Oh, he does have the affidavit?
Yes, the affidavit's already, it's behind the letter that was
Yeah,
scanned.
I said,
Well, so I would be up for calling him now and seeing if he could do it right now, since we don't have anything, and get it done. And if
Right.
not, if he can't do it now, then offer him tomorrow and say that, that's it, as far as time sweep.
Yeah.
I could agree with that.
Okay,
That's
great.
fine.
Ramona,
Fine
what
with
do
me,
you
fine with
think?
me.
We
I
do
agree.
have, we have that item on the agenda where it talks about rescheduled hearings. So,
And the, as the district representative, we would agree to the time. I mean, if we could get it in right now. All I would say is that we're gonna have to upload our evidence.
it should be in there in yesterday.
We do that every day.
So it would be under yesterday's. Do you know which one? Torres?
Can you look at that, Jackie?
I'm looking.
It's account number 18281.
At what time?
182.
What time would it have been?
Case number.
And it's case number 1177.
But what time, what docket?
We're trying to find it.
It was the afternoon, either the 1:30 or the 3.
1177?
Yes,
It's at the 1:30.
Yeah, it's in there.
Yeah.
And there's your evidence.
yeah.
Oh, the 25th. Yeah.
So Val, call him and see if you can get him in through the Zoom. Please.
I think we could just call him here on this phone.
Okay.
Want me to read off his number?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, let me find it.
What did you say it was 1177?
Yes,
1177 on August 25th.
Yeah.
the
And
1:30 docket.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got it. I see it.
If when we call, if Robert, you can start the conversation and just speak real loud.
Okay, what about the affidavits?
I've
They've
got,
got it.
Oh, right. We could send those this evening, where you could sign it this evening and just go ahead and
Okay.
state the oath.
Okay, I'm good with
We've
that.
done that before.
oh, yeah, I see.
Ramona, you asked for the floor?
No, I said we've done that before.
Oh, okay. I thought you said, can I have the floor?
I'm gonna have to start
I
doing
want that
that.
old barnwood floor. Can I put in a request for that?
What I will
Yeah,
go
she
do
can put in a request.
is get his taxpayer evidence in the account and in the Kindle where you're looking while y'all make the call and see if that's a go.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
But we don't know what he was. Is it gonna show what property it is and what?
Yeah, it's all in there.
Yeah,
all in there?
we'll do it just like a regular hearing. They just,
Zoom in.
he was gonna do a phone hearing. Here's his number up here.
Okay,
I was gonna go do that.
so I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna just say who I am, and then Robert, you're gonna take over, okay?
Okay, and his name is Perez
Charlie Torres.
Torres. Okay.
Charlie Torres.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 512-922-0767 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Charlie, this is Mike Soto with the Aransas County Appraisal District. I'm calling to see if we can do the phone hearing. Please call us back at your earliest convenience, 361-729-9733. Thank you. All right, so that's what we got so far. But for the record, you did approve it. So
Yeah.
if we can't get it done today, then we'll get it done between now and Monday, I guess.
Okay.
So let me go tell Val that we were unable to get through and see what we can do. Y'all want to hang out just for a few minutes?
Yeah, if he calls
Yeah.
back in the next 4 or 5 minutes, we'll hear him. Otherwise, we'll do it later.
Okay.
If he calls back, she can schedule him for tomorrow sometime.
yeah, we can do it today or tomorrow, whatever. Hey, guys, so when, something that, when I was looking through the papers, there was something where, I think it was Val, and we probably even decided this yesterday, but I just want to retouch on it. Something about that, like on Monday, they'd like, that we needed to, to get a third quarter here, meeting in. And so she'd like to do that Monday, I think, after the hearings. Now, Ramona, you won't be here.
Oh, that's right.
right, but if you'll text me, I can call in.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So if
From the
we did it
office.
like in the afternoon or something, maybe, huh?
Yeah, when you get done, just text me and I can call from the office.
Okay. And did we discuss,
What we're gonna discuss?
no, not even
No,
that.
and I don't think she said either how busy a schedule we had on
Right,
Monday.
that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I know we had some cases, but I don't know how many, or if it was just the morning or the afternoon as well.
This little thing says, this thing says nothing. It only has till
Oh.
Thursday this week.
Yeah, it doesn't go till next week.
Right, and then it was just a one-page deal I found somewhere, I don't know, that, said, oh, we'd love to do the meeting Monday, but I don't think she really knew at that point.
Oh, I saw that.
Well, if we could get her in here or find out from her how busy the schedule is on Monday, we could kind of
Oh, here it is.
get a better idea of what kind of timing we have. Yeah,
It just
I
says
have the
hearings
same thing.
scheduled for Monday.
She says we'd like to try and get the regular meeting done on that last Monday. Otherwise, we will need to schedule a separate time for the regular meeting.
See, and I agree,
Right.
I'd rather, if we can get it done, let's do it.
Knock it out.
What are you thinking, Robert?
I'm good with that. If we can finish up Monday, that would be good.
Yes, it would.
Well, me and my
You move your
brothers, would
hair
like-
out?
you could tell it me and my other brother.
You can, but not like you. I was looking at your face and I'm like, oh crap.
I bet so. I bet. Well, so funny.
You're good enough. Like, you couldn't stop laughing.
It's so funny.
Hey, is that Jackie?
No, she left. Sorry.
No. And the, I don't believe you. I think that is Jackie.
I've been here all day.
Okay, so well, I'm
Hey.
sorry, but here's what, how is your daughter-in-law? Or, you know,
I
your,
don't know. I still haven't, she still hasn't been to the doctor, so I have no idea.
That is
She was supposed to go today, but you know, they never called, so I have to call and check on them.
that's so crazy.
I know. Kids, you know, they don't.
I know.
Hopefully, okay, I'm sure I'll call them when I get out of here today and see what they say.
Well, so are they staying with you again?
No, oh no, they have their own house, but I think someone's staying with her, so that's,
Got
she
it.
can't stay by herself.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
Cindy, did they tell you where I was at last Thursday?
Where'd you go?
Colorado.
Oh, you
Good
did
for
not.
you.
I did for 5 days. I traveled 2 days and we did fun stuff for 3 days in the middle. I went from Denver to Colorado Springs, did Garden of the Gods, did some zip lining, went to the central part of the state.
Oh,
Hiking.
What'd you do? Drive up there by yourself?
No, I took my oldest son and one of his friends. And so I had two 20-year-old boys basically, and they were just, you know, run them up the hill. It was a lot of fun. Even my old fat butt was up there climbing hills, and so it was good.
but it's so and it's so beautiful over there. I mean,
It is. There was a lot of wildfires though, for sure.
there were what?
Wildfires at the top of Rocky Mountain National Park. There was Alpine Visitor Center. It's like 12,000 feet, and it was really hard to breathe because, you know, not only the oxygen, but it was the smoke in the air. It's real good.
My cousin lives in Colorado Springs, and she said she can, you know, smell the smoke and see the smoke from where she is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It was that way. There was times where it was really nice and times where it was pretty smoky, but we had a great time.
Oh, I am sure. Well, and I'm sure because I mean, you know, the kids are really. I don't know about Johnny, but Macaulay, like last night when I talked to him, he was like, "Mom, UNT, the college. I mean, this is a university. Their whole system crashed. So all the courses that the professors had uploaded, that the kids are responsible to watch to get their grades at the end of this semester, all of that is gone. And it's kind of like, you know, they can't deal, you know, the communication's very difficult because the system's kind of wonky right now. And so the kids are like, wow, what do I do? Yeah, I mean, you know, because you can't get through to anybody because everybody's calling going, what do we do now?
Aren't some of his classes in person? Didn't you say that, or was it all online?
Yeah, yes, 3 of them are, but actually what it ended up that they are is, and he didn't even know this and he was upset about that. It's on Monday, he goes to the class, but the rest of the week it's virtual.
Oh, yeah. I think a lot of schools are doing that.
So my point is, I'm sure Johnny, you know, the kids are needing a break to, you know, they're needing a like release that, okay, life is okay. Life will be okay. This is all, you know, we just got to get through this, you know.
When is school starting here, or is it starting?
It's already
It's
started.
already started.
What's that?
It has already started. It started, like high school's already started and college started as well.
Sorry, say that again. The what?
It has already started. Yes, it has already started.
Are they in school, or are they doing virtual?
Virtual.
Yeah. Johnny is doing like college. Johnny is doing 3 virtuals and 1 in person.
That's awesome.
The kids in high school are doing 3 weeks of virtual, and then they'll make a decision.
Oh, okay. That's
So
hard.
How did you pick that place, Mike?
Which one?
Going up to Colorado?
I've been a couple of times, and I knew of some places and wanted to explore for other places, kind of around there. And we had some fun. I mean, we did some zip lining, we did Garden of the Gods, which I've never done, but heard it was a good trip. And then we Beaver Creek and Vale I've never been to, so I really wanted to go there. Are they calling it?
No, he hadn't called. Assuming he's not going to.
And then we rented a Jeep up by Rocky Mountain National Park, there's Roosevelt National Park, and we got to ride in the back country. That was really cool.
Oh,
It's real pretty up there. Did you drive up Pikes Peak?
Pikes Peak, I've been before. We actually had, Pikes Peak, we were there before, but the train track is being renovated.
ah.
Yeah, but you can still drive to the top, can't you?
Yeah.
You could, but I had a minivan
Oh.
at that time, so I wasn't willing to do it. So, yeah.
But good for y'all. Yeah, because I mean, Macaulay's birthday's in September. And so we're we're trying to figure out how all three of us can go up there but go and do, go take a day or two and go somewhere that's just away for a minute, for him. So.
Yeah.
Good for you. I'm jealous. And also that cool air, just, getting out of this heat and humidity, it kind of refreshes you too, right?
It was awesome. It did good things for my confidence too, to be able to climb those big, like they never had to, there was never a place that they couldn't go that I wouldn't go, and I felt kind of good about that. I'm overweight and I'm 50, but you know what? I was right there with them the whole time. So,
Now that's pretty, because Johnny's in pretty good shape.
You
yes,
didn't have any problem with the altitude?
no, we all did real good.
Some people do, it takes them a couple of days or else they get really bad headaches or whatever. So,
So did he do a friend from college or someone from here?
It was William Smith.
Oh, oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we had a good time. We had a really good time. So we, William and I flew from Austin because it's a direct from Austin to Denver. And then
Right.
he just met us from Amarillo to Denver, straight shot. So it was pretty cool.
That is so fun. Yeah, and good for Will since he's gotten that other device. That's,
Yeah, it's real good.
yeah, it
It
is.
doesn't look like he's called in. So whenever he does, I guess we'll put together the letter that you approved his reschedule.
Well,
And then
But he needs to understand it's got to be soon.
it's got to be tomorrow or Monday. That's
Yes.
it.
Right. Yes, so we'll make sure that happens. I don't have a motion yet to go ahead and give him another hearing.
I make a motion that we do grant him a hearing, as long as he understands that unfortunately, we've got a very short window.
Second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, let us know, Val. And in the meanwhile, do I have a motion to close today's hearings?
Do we know if Charlie's, before that, do we know if Charlie's going to be here tomorrow? Because 3 of us are gone. 2 of us are gone.
He said he was going to be here all day tomorrow.
Yes, I will be
Okay,
here.
I'll be gone in the morning, but I'll be here in the afternoon.
And I'm gone in the afternoon. And Ramona,
And
you're
I'm gone all day. Right.
Hey, so Val, are you there?
I am.
Yay. Okay. So I don't know, maybe we discussed it all and got it all figured out, but I already forgot. There was the deal about, that Monday, we're definitely wanting to try to get in our third quarter meeting. Yes. And so how does it look like we'll be able to do that, or?
There is one hearing on the 3 o'clock docket. I don't know how, and I don't know about the 1:30 docket, if it could run into the 3 o'clock docket. So it's hard to say when we would be finishing up. But I thought I would put on the agenda following the last hearing, agenda items such and such, which would cover approving the supplement,
Joint motions to correct,
chief,
chief appraiser motions to correct.
things that we would have on the regular meeting.
That would occur with it. So can you word it to such a way so that if we do end up getting enough done to where it can be our meeting, that will be legal or whatever?
Right, I thought I would use the language following the last hearing, if possible. And then that way, if it doesn't happen, we'll just have to schedule one in the next few days after that and reconvene and have a regular meeting.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yes.
The other option would be to not try to do it Monday afternoon and for me to just go ahead and set up one for Tuesday morning. And that would be a for sure thing.
Let's go for Monday. Maybe we'll have a short day and get it in.
Well, okay, so can you do this? Can you do it to where if we can, we get it in on Monday, but just on the off chance that we don't, can you go, because there's that, you have to put, our meetings also have to be submitted before, so many days, right?
Right.
So can you somehow set it up to where, and in the whatever that we don't get it done Monday, then it will occur on Tuesday?
No problem.
Yeah, I guess I would probably check with our attorney and see what kind of wording I need to use on that.
Because that way then we won't be held to not being able to have it, because unfortunately we didn't put it on the schedule that
I'm
was
not feeling well, but
put out to the public.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom somewhere. I couldn't, right here. And they're gonna come
Okay,
here.
I'll see what I can do.
20,
Just
25
tell them to go
minutes.
home.
Huh?
Just tell them to go
All right,
home.
so you want me to make a motion, guys?
Yes, please.
I couldn't get to you. You want those bushes
I
sprayed?
make a motion that we end today's meeting.
Second that.
I second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
All right.
Thank
We'll
you, Val.
see
Thank
you all
you,
tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.